I'm completely happy. I visualized this. You know, I had one session in Abu Dhabi when I was preparing for the fight, and I was trying to explain it in the post-fight interview with Dan. But you know, I was working with Carol, and she had me meditate. Carol DeLazar, and she's also who's promoted me to black belt as well, alongside with her husband Marcus. And you know, they had me visualize about winning, about the sound, the sight, the taste, the feel, about everything. And I actually cried in the meditation. You know, not as weird as it sounds, I really got spiritually with that, and I just kept replaying that whole same feeling throughout this whole journey to this point. And even before I stepped in the octagon, I felt the same. And just getting the win, you know, for me it's a huge honor. And without being, you know, it's just, in order to become a legend, you have to beat legends, you know. And I really felt like absorbing everything that Takanori Gomi had brought to this point in his career. Is I'm going to carry it proudly with huge honor, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for him and everybody that's been supporting me, and I can't thank much more than that.
I got to say, this has to rank up there with the greatest win of your career.
Oh, definitely. You know, this is I had a rough patch last year with, you know, fallouts and opponents switching last minute on me, and you know, no excuses. It just didn't work out. You know, and maybe I could have won those fights and not been mentioning it, but you know, those are definitely adverse times in my life, and you know, it really tested the will that I have in order to be able to see how far I want to go with my career. And you know, it's tough sacrificing time away from my family, my daughter, who's, you know, she's 5 years old, and she's always asking where I'm at and why you know, she wants to be with me, and sacrificing the time and money away from her is definitely a huge it's kind of like, you know, easily people can quit, you know, but I really know that I am one of the best, and I will prove that every time I step in the octagon from this point forward, because you know, this was definitely a revitalizer for myself. And I couldn't have asked for a better opponent you know, I'm so happy that Takanori even took the fight with me, you know, a guy who's maybe not so known compared to other people, but it's a huge honor, and he's definitely a legend for a reason.
Jon, Takanori, we have all seen him while growing up. He's a legend of the sport. One thing he's known for is being very aggressive when he starts his fights, and he's also solid in wrestling as well. So when you went right on the blocks, was it a conscious effort on your part to take the aggression to him rather than wait for him to come to you?
Well, I wanted to gauge him just a little bit, because I know he switches stances. And for the whole time I trained for this, he was supposed to be southpaw, and there was so much things, you know, so much skill, so much different type of weapons that I wanted to use against him that I didn't get to show. But you know, I've been preparing for this moment, and I know he switches, so I had to come with my plan B, and I wanted to soften him up with some liver shots and work his body a bit, you know. And he was trying to set me up too, and I just caught him, and I just played it smart, because you know, if I was exposing myself and I left my chin out there, he could have dropped me probably, you know, even though I have a huge coconut head. But you know.
And, yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, but so anyways, yeah, so I just played it smart. I wanted to take him down, soften him up with punches, and finish the fight. You know, I could have probably brought the fight further, but why even do so? I needed the win, and especially against a legend like himself.
Right, and after the body kick, you kind of swarmed in, and he was wincing after the kick as well. So, and I heard you speaking to Matt saying he might have a broken rib. Did that kind of feel that way when you connected with him?
Well, I mean, to be honest, completely honest, thankful to my training partners. You know, I've dropped a lot of guys with the same kind of body shot from both sides of my kicks. So that's one of my actual weapons that I really apply in training. So being able to break it out, I broke it out in the fight with Taeyeon Bang when I fought in UFC Manila, but that was from the opposite side, but as well as this. So I just switched it up, and it's nothing different than what you see in the training room.
Right, now you're coming off 2 losses, and a victory would be, you know, big boost to your morale. But what does it mean for you to defeat a legend of sport like Takanori Gomi?
It means everything, you know. I've been growing up watching this guy, and man, he's a legend for a reason. You know, he's been the only Pride lightweight champion. I've watched his style, mimicked his style, even in training. So I know about him so much because, you know, I really looked up to his fighting style. I'm from Guam. We like to scrap, and he scraps. You know, so I just want to make sure that when I got this fight, it was for me to be able to absorb all of the good spirits from it and take it into the future.
Right, and you were asked if this fight was the best fight of your career, the most memorable fight of your career. Now there's also a possibility where Gomi might hang up his boots after the fight. Does that make this a win a little more, you know, special or anything like that?
I wouldn't say that he should hang up his gloves, because I know what kind of fighter I am, you know, without sounding like I'm cocky or anything, but I know that I belong in the top, like I said before. It's just me being able to prove it in the octagon, and he's got wealth of experience. Like Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping just got a championship, you know, after how many years of trying, or other fighters. Damian Maia, look how great he is, you know, and he just really applies his own game. Because I beat Takanori Gomi, it doesn't mean that he should hang up his gloves. But if he does hang up his gloves, I'm honored that he was able to step inside the octagon and share it with me, because that's the most memorable. I don't think he should hang it up, and I still think he's got a lot in him. It just depends on how much he wants to take it.
Right, and going into the fight, because you both have so much contrasting styles, him as a wrestler, as a freestyle wrestler, but you are a very experienced jiu-jitsu practitioner. So did you think your styles kind of matched each other in a way while you're going into the fight?
Yeah, it's funny because he comes from a wrestling background as well, and I mean, you don't see me do a lot of shots, but you know, I feel that I have one of the best wrestlings in the game. Just I haven't been applying it like I should have been in the other fights, you know. But I think because of the jiu-jitsu, you know, contrasted, it balanced each other out. But I think Sean Shelby put it together because he knows that we're both down to strike. You know, even though we got good, amazing bases in a grappling sense, we both have great stand-up.
Right. So again, after picking up victory against someone like Gomi, who are you looking at next?
Man, I'm just really looking forward to really get back on track. Like I said, I had a rough patch last year. I mean, I didn't get injured, not that I know of, but I hope to get on the Anaheim card if that's cool, and if not, then I want for sure. I mean, if I can get Anaheim and Tokyo, Japan, I'd love to get there. You know, getting this fight from Gomi, it'll be like fighting at home. When I love Japan and Anaheim, I got so much love from all the Pacific Islanders around that whole source. I really can sell at least quarter to a half of that place. And likewise with Japan, Guam is only 3 hours away, and people that from the Asia Pacific region that support me and show me love, I'm sure they'd love to fly out and watch me fight again.
Thank you so much.
Gomi was part of your wish list before, I remember.
Yes.
So right now, in terms of what are you looking for next?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to fighting the best of the best, whether it's up and comer in their own place, or I'm looking forward to fight more legends. You know, I come from such a small place like Guam, and I need to show the real Chamorro strength and be able to become a Chamorro legend myself. You know, and become a legend, you know, by defeating a legend.
Just one last one for me. I know you talked a little bit about in this camp. It was about the mental side. Do you think that was that something that was lacking before, or maybe you now are refocused in a different way? And is this something that you just picked up this camp, or was this just a big difference in this one? I'd love to get your thoughts more on the mental that you did differently in this one.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, why I don't perform. Like I said, you know, last year in Rotterdam, I fought Josh Emmett. It's a way different fighter than Nick Hein. You know, if I fought Nick Hein would have had another loss on his career, you know, on his record. And that's not just talking cockiness, that's being, you know, what it is. And, you know, he dodged the bullet. I fought Josh Emmett. He's a great fighter, but if I trained for a Josh Emmett fighter, I would have came out with the win. And, you know, hats off to him for getting the win. But, and then the Manila card fell out, and then I fought 6 weeks later in Australia, which I got robbed by the judges. So I can't really say that's a loss. I'm just saying I just got robbed, basically. And but holding a peak for another 6 weeks, you know, that can take a little bit out of you. So I don't know what it is. No excuses. You know, all the best to the guys that have got a victory over me, but you can't count me out. I know where I belong. I belong with the best, and I don't want to be just a dojo champ. You know, the guy who's in the gym beating up people. You know, I know where I belong. You know, I don't go to these places to train, whether it's in Abu Dhabi, whether it's in Abu Dhabi or in King's MMA, and train with the best guys to just perform at a mediocre, stale kind of fight. You know, I want to make sure that I do perform when I step in the octagon. And coming into this fight, for sure, I knew what I wanted. I knew that I was gonna strike up top, get it to the ground. I just didn't know which way I was gonna take it. And you know, I don't want to mess around, and I wanted to finish the fight. And I was happy that I got it in that particular fashion that I did.
So with this mental focus that you're coming with now, with the skill set, how good is the Jon Tuck that we're seeing now compared to Jon Tuck 2 years ago?
Man, it's just bridging the gap, you know. And I'm still improving every single day, and I just mentally is that's the biggest upside of it all. That I know that I should be up there with the best, and being able. It's crazy because I think people will freak out if they stepped in the octagon with somebody as a legend as himself, but overall, when this whole trip, being out here a week and a half early, and it just felt normal, you know. It's supposed to happen, so I'm just gonna always ride the wave just like it is, and make sure that I capitalize on all my opportunities from this day forward. I don't have time to waste. You know, like I said, I got a beautiful little girl and family, you know, that I'm always trying to provide for, and I can't keep getting these half checks. You know, I want to get these full checks and get these bonuses and really take it forward. And you know I could be a world champion, and sooner or later in the future. I'd say maybe 2018. We'll see.